communicate within a two-way interaction with CCRCs and other participants there in the CCRC activities. So we have EngAGE Connect for the homebound elderlies, connecting them to their activities such as spiritual talks, health discussions, or whatever handcrafts activities they are doing physically in the center itself. And we also have EngAGE Community, whereby CCRCs are using our system to reach out these groups of people who are homebound residents that are in the CCRCs itself, current residents, as well as non-homebound residents, and the outside community outside the CCRCs, and the baby boomers that are potentially moving towards the category of going into CCRCs in the future. And this will be a good marketing tool for CCRCs to distinguish themselves through this value-added system they are offering. And also the CCRCs will encourage those who are in the waiting list of the CCRCs to have more options and more access to to stay connected with whatever is happening in the CCRC. And we can pass it to Christian.
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Christian. I am coming from the University of Trento in Italy. And I think that the best way to understand what we're trying to do is to actually see it in action, right? So here you have EngAGE. EngAGE has two legs, right? We have the EngAGE for retirement communities, where basically retirement communities, they can go inside and they will find a dashboard where they can organize events. They can add people that will participate in those events. So we can ask the team there over there to go to the retirement communities dashboard, right? So when the retirement community connects here, let's say, for example, there is a LeadingAge retirement community here in Dallas. They go, they log in, there is an administrator of the site, right? And they will see there the calendar of activities, basically, right? You can think about activities like a book club, right? Like the scenario of this guy who wanted to really continue to read, right? You can think about discussion groups, right? Centered about different topics. You can have religious services. All these activities are things that community or retirement communities really do, right? They organize and they can do. And they want to offer this online so that homebound elderly who cannot participate can go there. So let's start by looking at how they are going to add the people that are going to be participating. So let's say here, the administrator go to add people, right? So add a person. Let's imagine that Joe Evans, he is a homebound elderly here in the place of Dallas. And he wants to stay connected with the community, right? So he calls the CCRC and he says, yeah, I want to subscribe to the service. So the administrator there, he creates a profile. He asks Joe what are his interests. Joe says, okay, I'm interested in health, in religion, in books, maybe also a bit in music. So then when they add Joe, they have a small code that a volunteer will later on go to the house of Joe and will set up all the system there so that Joe can use it. And they are going to give Joe the code, right? So we are trying to find a way that it is simpler for Joe to engage in this system without having too much for him to install, to configure, right? So now let's go to add an event. The administrator of the site decides also to create an event. So let's add an event for right now. Let's add a discussion group, for example, about the LeadingAge Hackfest, right? And let's put the time there for 11:30, which is right now. And that's it. Then we add the event. So now what happened is that the administrator, he has this event online and he has the possibility to start this event and start to broadcasting. So that's what we are going to do now. So let's make this, let's hope it works, right? So there you have it. Now he has started the event, and whatever is happening in the retirement community will be broadcasted here. So you will be able to see what is happening. You see right there in the sidebar, you see the logo of the organization, right? You see there Chul, who is he is the one leading this book or the LeadingAge discussion group, right? Maybe there can be more people. You can imagine that maybe this camera is pointed to a table or whatever, right? So let your imagination fly with this, right? So you can see there also that in the sidebar there can be some material. So the possibilities here are still to develop. So now let's go to the other side, right? This is the retirement community. We have given them a platform to organize events and make them available. So now let's go to the house of Joe, right? So Joe has this laptop, right? And he has a link there right in his desktop, right? That if he opens, he will enter the EngAGE Connect. You know, this is only an example, right? So the laptop is just one platform, but this can be a tablet, can be whatever, right? We can be whatever Joe wants to use or know how to use. And that's the key aspect here. We want to make something that we do not put any kind of limitation to Joe. We give Joe the possibility to use whatever he wants to use in order to connect, right? So he goes inside, he has there his code that the volunteer has already given to him, right? Maybe Joe is already in the waiting list of this retirement community, so this will help him transition to the community. When he enters, he sees this. He sees a list of events, things that he can participate on. All these events are already filtered out based on his interest. So let's say that Joe, he's in the mood for some singing now. So let's try it. Let's try singing. Oh, damn. So, okay, the activity is yet to begin, right? So we can come back later to this. Of course, it said 6 p.m. later, so it's still some time to do that. So let's say that Joe, okay, he's not interested in any of these things, so maybe he wants to see some other activities, so he just click on see other activities, and the system will recommend new activities for him based on his interest always. So let's think about another person now. Let's log out. And let's imagine we are now in the house of Jane, and Jane inputs her code, Jane 123 or whatever, and then she clicks on show me what is ongoing, right? So she sees her interest. For example, in this case, Jane is not interested in anything about religion, so she doesn't see the religious activities there. She only sees those things that she wants to see, right? So let's try now to connect to what Chul just created. Are we ready, guys? Yes? Okay, so let's click on the discussion group on the LeadingAge Hackfest, which is ongoing right now. And let's cross our fingers, right? Okay, so you have this window there. You just click on join. And that's it. Right now, Jane is already connected to the community. She's already seeing what is happening. You see there actually Kate saying hello. Kate can not only see that, but she can also actually interact. She can talk back. We can think about the possibilities here. What we have, in this case, we have just thought about the single behavior that matters, which is connecting, to be there present, right? But this is only the beginning. You can think about organizing, I don't know, cards, games, or tournaments, and make people participate in these, and in interact. You can create a whole range of other services around this connection, right? Which is a video conference, which is extendable, and this is only the beginning. So this is what we think is a community without walls, and I think you have enjoyed it. Yeah. No, back to the presentation.
Okay, so just to quickly run through this since we are running low on time. Just looking at the market, we find that there are 1,900 CCRCs nationwide, and looks like the words have been jumbled a bit here, but the average number of residents in a CCRC is roughly 300, and the average age of those residents is 81 years. And we also thought it was important to look at, there's 3.6 million of the homebound elderly who are really who we are targeting here. And this is a couple years old now, so that number has already grown and will continue to grow. So just looking at the competitor analysis, we are aware that there is a technology called the Virtual Senior Center, which has been tested in New York City. And so it's a similar idea in concept, but what they're doing is connecting senior centers and homebound elderly. So they're leaving out a significant number of people who are able to interact with the CCRCs in the other communities. CCRCs by themselves are able to reach out to the individual living, assisted living, and skilled nursing aspects of their communities, but they are also missing some of those people who are homebound within their communities. So if there is a community activity, they may not be able to leave their apartment and go to that activity. So with EngAGE, we're able to really stretch across all 5 of those levels and bring people together in a more efficient and really simple way. Just looking quickly at the target for the market, we are expecting the first year of beta testing in 10 CCRCs, so we're not going to have any profit from that. We are offering that as a free beta testing. And then in year 2, we're projecting that 7 of those 10 will stay on with us, and then that we will also add contract 10 more CCRCs, and then in year 3, we project 22 CCRCs. So it's modest projections, but we think that it's helpful for us to see how quickly that we can become profitable. And then this is just a timeline to show you, just to put some pictures to that. And then for the future, we are looking for some partnerships and outreach with other tech companies, and hopefully to make this really a national collaboration, so someone in Seattle can join an activity in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and have no problem. And then for a financial analysis, so we looked at the first 3 years in a likely best and worst case scenarios, and I'm just going to focus on the likely scenario. We were charging $3,000 per month, so that's $36,000 a year, to the CCRC. So in the first year, we project obviously no profit because we are, it's a free beta testing. And in the second year, we are about to break even there. We are in the hole, so we have recouped some of that money. And then in year 3, we are showing a profit of about $420,000.
Well, all right. Now, my name is David Adamo Jr., and at Global EngAGE, we strongly believe that software innovations for the elderly are not to be found in a dozen array of gadgets, features, bells, and whistles, but rather in creating a simple user experience, of course, in the simplest way possible. So that's essentially what we're trying to achieve with this. And as we know, elderly people tend to get depressed when they're isolated from events that they love, and with depression comes a whole army of health issues, including self-destructive behavior. And we don't want our senior citizens going down this path. So that's why we've created a platform that brings together a whole bunch of CCRCs or senior centers to create a whole bunch of events to keep elderly people engaged. And that's the EngAGE team. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Just 2 questions. One, as far as outreach into the community to make people aware of the solution, I'd like to hear thoughts about how you plan to market your solution or product. And the second piece to it, with that price point of $3,000 a month for the CCRC, is it going to be your staff or their staff going into the community and setting up the technology at home?
Yeah. So what we are thinking about the first question is we want to market in this. We want to help the CCRC itself to market this system because we think the CCRC itself is interested in this. So they are interested in having people who is in the waiting list, for example, to start transitioning, to start already to participate. They are interested in having the community engaged. So they have also a positive, image, right, in the community. And about the second question, the calculus that we made was with our own staff, right? So we were, all the financial analysis we made was with our own staff doing the support at the beginning. And then after the 3rd year, maybe we can start to grow to something bigger thing, right?
First of all, it's very cool that you came here from Italy for this. So
thank you.
It's easy to maybe point some fingers, any of us might say, about your business model or your numbers, but that was a really well articulated, thought through year 1, year 2, year 3. I think there's some tweaking to that, but I think that's a later discussion. Just the fact that you thought that through, I think, is critical. And just my last comment is there is an absolute need for what you're talking about. And in terms of what our company does, it just really resonates with me because people can get so enamored with the technology and the clinical piece that the whole social piece can get so left out of it. And to David, David and I would really concur on that the importance of the depression and the isolation, there's such huge issues. And so I just think you guys really hit it home run in terms of the issue that you're trying to address.
Thank you.
I totally agree. I think the only sort of commentary or comment that I would add is it wasn't quite clear whether this is intended for the residents of the CCRC or the residents as well as those who are in the broader community. And if it's the latter, I would recommend that you think through your business model and think about the potential for the CCRC to recoup some revenue stream from those who are in the community and recoup some of that cost that they're paying to you. Or
So, yeah, actually, we didn't put it there, but that was one of the thoughts that we were having. That so first, the first question: this is intended for both homebound in the community and also the ones that are outside, right? And actually, what we envision is like something like will be. I mean, we are the global EngAGE, so we want this to become global, right? So people from Seattle joining in activities from New York, and maybe you can think about joining in activities in Europe also, right? I mean, Europe is having the same situation that you have here. I am working in that over there, and I am also working in senior centers over there, and I can see that there is a lot of similarities in both in the needs and in the way to approach to these needs, right? And about the other aspect, we were actually thinking that maybe when we decided to charge the CCRC and not the people, is because we thought maybe the CCRC later can they themselves, create their own business model around this, right? So we could try to also give this to them, but maybe we can leave them free and they actually gonna find a better model.
I'm sorry, but time is up. Kara, you have a quick question? You're okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. Nice job, you guys.
Thank you.
All right. So we're really pushing the envelope here a bit, but everybody works so hard. I want you guys to have the chance to really present it. So we're because we've added time for everybody, we're going to be running a little bit later than the original agenda, just so you guys know. I think we'll probably end up eating around 12:30 instead of 12:15. Next up is Generation XYZ, and I'm going to check, do you guys need special AV requirements? You do? Okay. All right. So we'll give them the 5-minute transition time as well. Okay.